So I've been noticing a lot of people say that Leetcode doesn't really apply to real-world situations. And that may be true, but Leetcode in itself is just a structure of how questions are being asked. So for example, I created this fun little prompt that basically mimics a Leetcode question, but it applied to my real-world situation. So I had to arrange 2 by 2 inch photos into a 4 by 6 inch canvas. Now, the context of this was I was basically renewing my passport and they asked for 2 by 2 inch photo. When you look up like Walgreens or any sort of website that does this service for you, they'll charge you about $10 to $15 for a photo and a printout of a 2 by 2. Now, I thought that was interesting because iPhones nowadays can definitely take a photo that's worthy of a passport, and printing out a 4 by 6 is 30 cents, and printing out a 2 by 2 is $10 to $15. So when you multiply that by, I don't know, 3 to 4 people in your family, you end up spending about $40 to $60. So I'd rather just spend about $1 for about 4 of these 4 by 6s rather than spending, I don't know, $60 to do basically the same thing. So the problem statement: you're given an image path which represents a square photo. I'm assuming that I've already taken a photo on my iPhone. So my task is to then resize this 2 by 2 image at 300 dpi and then arrange multiple copies of this resized image onto a 4 by 6 canvas. And the canvas should be white initially. So the constraints are that it'll always be square and the output image must be exactly 4 by 6 at 300 dpi. And the images must retain their aspect ratio. Because you don't want it to look funny, and all warped and stuff. So here's an example. Here's an image, and here's the example of the output. Okay, so if you guys want to take some time to pause and solve the question, that's totally fine. Otherwise, we'll start coding up the solution. So I've already done the liberty of kind of setting something up. I have an input photo, and here's our input package that we need, which is from Pillow. We need to import image. Okay. This is no different than, when you want to import from collections, import, deck or anything, along those lines. It's the same idea, but this time you're actually doing something practical. So first we need to open the original image, right? And so how do we do that? We need to do image.open, right? This is a very simple command. So now it's an original. So the next step is we need to resize the image to a 2 by 2 at 300 dpi. And the reason it has to be at 300 is because that's the minimum settings that the passport regulations will require you to have it at. So this is what I'm going to do it at. So we'll have our size, and since we're doing a 2 by 2, we're going to do 2 by the dpi, and then we're going to do another 2 by dpi. And then we're going to have a resize equal to the original dot resize. And we're just going to put in the size. Okay, so now we need to create a new blank image. That's 4 by 6. Now with Pillow, it's super easy. You just do canvas, let's do image dot new, and we're going to make it a colored image. And we're going to make it a 4 by 6. So we're going to do 4 multiplied by the DPI. And 6 multiplied by the DPI. And the background is going to be white. Okay, so now we've created our blank image of a 4 by 6, and we have our images of 2 by 2s. So now we need to create a grid of photos. Now, how does a grid of photos usually look? Well, in the case of the example, it had its rows equal to 3, and it had its columns equal to 2. So this would be a 2 column, and this would be a 3 row image. Now the rest of this is just standard Leetcode, easy, basically. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through the row, and then we're going to go through the columns, and we're going to have each of our coordinates equal to the size. In this case, I could just do 2 by dpi. I just want to do this for clarity's sake, or I guess a more generalistic sake. But this is going to get us our coordinates within the grid that we just created. Then we're going to do a canvas.paste, and we're going to put our photo in at the coordinate. Okay. Now, How are we gonna do this? We're gonna save the photo. I believe I put it as output 4x6.jpg. And then we're going to just simply call the function. So here's the input photo, JPEG. We're gonna run it. Okay, so here is our input photo, the dog. Now here's our output photo, a bunch of dogs. Okay, and this was just a simple way of basically creating a simple real world situation and then translating it into a Leetcode style question. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. Otherwise, I'll see you later.